Welcome to Unity of Flagstaff. I am Reverend Penny Honey, and as always, it is our joy to have you join us here today on our YouTube channel, youtube.unityofflagstaff.org. For more information about the ministry, please be sure and check us out at www.unityofflagstaff.org. And on that website, you can donate or you can send those contributions into our P.O. Box 1740 here in beautiful Flagstaff, Arizona, 86002. Also on that website, you will find the link to our Friday night Hootenanny. And Friday, July 24th, our Hootenanny is taking on a new face. We are going to have a discussion around the book written by the local artist entitled Man in the Dog Park, and it is about homelessness here in Flagstaff. Unity of Flagstaff is taking on a new ministry here within our ministry called the Helping Hands Team. And the Helping Hands Team will be for the next quarter focusing on homelessness. You're not obligated to join that Helping Hands team. However, we are hoping that you will be encouraged to want to learn more about homelessness here in Flagstaff through our Friday night Hootenanny at 7 o'clock. Again, on our website, you'll find that Zoom link. So we look forward to that. Today, we have music by Karen Drucker. After that, we will be blessed by our very own Trina Getz, who will be sharing her inspirational reading as our platform assistant today. Conversation we're having today for our message is divine order or divine influence or both. We look forward to sharing this time with you again. Keep in mind that Unity of Flagstaff is open to all, always has been and always will be. We continue to hold the belief that God is just too big to fit into one religion. Thank you again. Welcome.
I got the power, you got the power, we got the power. I got the power, you got the power, we got the power. I got the power, you got the power, we got the power. I got the power, you got the power, we got the power.
There's nothing I can't do. I've got the power to be anything I want.
I've got the power inside of me. I've got the power inside of me.
Every day I'm wasting my time thinking that someone else is gonna do it all for me. I've got to get up, get out, get it, just get started. Take one step towards my destiny. I'll define my direction with clear-cut intention. Declare what will be and then watch it come to me. 'Cause I've got the power to make all my dreams come true. I've got the power, there's nothing I can't do. I've got the power to be anything I want.
I've got the power inside of me. I've got the power inside of me.
There are days when I feel that I'm just no good. Days when I don't even want to try. But when I stop, look and listen and surrender, I hear a voice of truth I cannot deny. And it says, you know you can do it. Just get down to it. Have faith in yourself and the will to see it through. 'Cause I've got the power to make all my dreams come true. I've got the power, there ain't nothing I can't do. I've got the power to be anything I want.
I've got the power inside of me.
Yeah, I've got the power inside of me. In those times when I feel so frightened and every single day. You just got to say, I got the power, you got the power, we got the power. Power! Talking about power, yeah. I got the power, you got the power, we got the power. Every single day, you just got to say, I got the power, you got the power, we got the power. Power!
Good morning, Unity of Flagstaff. I'm Trina Getz, and I'm your platform assistant today. I would like to read a little bit from the Daily Word about divine order. I am in the flow of divine order. Nature reminds me that there is a season for everything. Bright red or yellow apples began as a compact bud of potential, unfolded into a beautiful springtime blossom, and then matured into a luscious and nutritious fruit ready for harvest. Each stage of the apple's development was orderly and essential for fulfillment. Order is also active in my life. I am inspired with ideas that follow an orderly path toward fulfillment. I give my ideas time to develop, nourish them with thought and consideration, and then take constructive action. I seek God's guidance and align my efforts with the divine order of the creative process. I experience a divinely ordered flow as I grow in spiritual understanding. And from Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verse 1, for everything there is a season, and a time for every matter under heaven. And now it is my great pleasure to introduce Reverend Penni with her message.
So thank you, Trina, for those inspiring words. We appreciate you bringing your light. We appreciate who you are in this ministry, and we appreciate who you are in the world. Thank you. I have a George Burns quote today. This isn't going to be as funny this time to the 5 people that are in the room because they've already heard it. But I am going to encourage them to laugh anyway. We do have some folks in the room today, and that's because I need people, and we're just trying this out. Yes, Michael's here. Thank you, Michael. So George Burns says this: the secret of a good sermon is to have a good beginning and a good ending, and to have the two as close together as possible. So I'm going to try to keep that in mind today, considering that we do have folks in the room, which for the first time in many weeks. This is our spiritual home, and it is a joy to be in it and to be surrounded by people that I feel loved and supported by. So thank you. This is a quote by Paul Hesselbeck and Bill Houghton, who are both metaphysicians from Unity Village. They wrote a book called Get Over It. And it's a great read. I highly recommend it. This is what they say about divine order. Divine order and divine influence is what we're talking about today. Divine order is one of the most misunderstood New Thought concepts. So, of course, I said yes when that dropped in as a topic. It is most often used in a traditional sense that there is a God outside of us, ordering everything that happens in the universe, including our daily lives. The idea is that there is a set order for our lives, and that all of our activities are governed by it. The trick about affirming divine order, as these teachers remind us, is that generally, when we say it's divine order, it's God's will, it's a statement of resignation rather than a statement of power. But in today's environment, I just gotta tell you, this idea of divine order and that there's someone or some force out there running this program makes me want to ask for the manager. It makes me feel scared. I don't know, am I the only one that feels that way? But in this struggle, and as I think about these quips of inviting divine order and affirming divine order and releasing to divine order, I'm just thinking that who's in charge right now? And I'm thinking if I could get comfortable with those concepts, if I could just, say it's in divine order, that I could find a higher level of tolerance. I could rest more easily, I guess, on my divine laurels, if you will, and it really takes the pressure off of me. It takes the pressure off of that question I ask every day in meditation. What is mine to do today? But for me, tolerance is a cop-out. I think we're bigger than that. I think we're more than that. I know we are more than that. For me, putting it all on the divine takes me out of the picture. And not only that, it takes my power. It kind of makes God look bad in today's world. Bruce Lipton, from his book Spontaneous Evolution, Our Positive Future and a Way to Get There from Here, great read, I highly recommend it. He says this: consciously or unconsciously, most of us accept our own powerlessness and frailty in seemingly out of control world. We perceive ourselves as mere mortals, just trying to make it through the day. People, on presuming helplessness, frequently beseech God to solve their problems. I got to tell you, some of my beseeching in this time has not been very friendly. Sometimes it sounds like this: come on, God. Come on, really? One more thing today? One more thing for us to handle? One more thing for us to understand? One more thing for us to be angry about? Today I'd like to offer you a couple of different thoughts about divine order. Now, I'm not dissing divine order. I'm not saying that there's not divine order in the world, but I'm inviting you to consider that there is the existence of divine order and divine influence. In recognizing this, it just seems to me that I get to take back my power. I also have to be more responsible. It also takes away the opportunity to be a victim. It also starts to minimize the fact that I can blame something else. Charles Fillmore, the co-founder of Unity, was defining in his book, The 12 Powers, and I'm paraphrasing this for simplicity purposes, because sometimes Charles can get a little wordy, even more than me. So Charles says this: we can never exercise dominion, and dominion in his world was power, until we know who and what we are. And then we bring that knowledge forward into the physical world by exercising it in divine order. And he says that divine order is mind, idea, and manifestation. That is not a divine proclamation, he says. He says that it is a divine point of power. What if divine order is the process of balance? What if it's the process of keeping the planets from running into each other? What if it's the process that says plants will put off oxygen so these humans can have it? What if it's a built-in filtration system that we need to be so much more careful with? Of how our water, how our air, how our planet cleans herself and makes herself available to us. What if that was the intention of what divine order is? Where all the big stuff that's running, that isn't on my to-do list, is getting done. What if that is divine order, as opposed to oh, I got a front row parking spot. I've heard people say, and I've said it, I've done it. And again, I'm not dissing divine order, but really? Really? The universe is really concerned about where you got to park today? I think it's got bigger things to worry about. And divine order is about keeping all the infinite available to us, teaching us, always teaching us through her systems and her processes. Divine influence is what I'd like to think about. Doesn't it feel more like being a co-creator with God? Rather than, here's your marching orders. This is what your life's going to look like. What about divine influence? What if we're present to the fact that there is divine order running? That's God's business. And I step into my business of being influenced by the example that the universe is setting for me. By being influenced by the power that I see in the very function of our world. Wouldn't that feel like we were taking our own power, and it would be a power within, not subject to a force from the outside? That feels better to me. I personally feel safer in today's world when I start to remember that I can be influenced by the greatest teacher ever, and that is the universe. You know, the universe has got this down, and it's been assimilating around us humans for a long time. And she will continue to do that. My job is to be present to that power. My job is to allow myself to be influenced. I love having people in the room. My job is to allow myself to be influenced by the power of divine order. And from a place of divine influence, I have such a much better understanding of free will. Because I got to tell you, that trips me up all the time. And you know, we got a lot of conversation going on in the world right now about rights and freedoms and I don't have to and you don't have to and I'm not gonna. So I struggle with this free will concept, especially when I think about divine order. And I think I've shared this story before, but I'm going to share it again. I was sitting in a dentist office in 1996 and there was a car magazine. And I had dug into trying to figure out what free will was. And I mean, I was reading everything I could get my hands on. So when I went to the dentist office, knowing full well that I would have to wait, I said, I'm taking nothing with me. I'm studying nothing. And I reached down in the little basket and I pulled out a car magazine. And in this car magazine, now remember, this is 1996. In that car magazine, it was talking about global positioning satellites. Oh, wow, that's really cool. Of course, you know, that was really, really cool. And how it talks to you, and it says, where do you want to go? And you tell it, and you say, I want to go to point B. And it says, okay, well, you're at point A right now, so this is how you go. But first it would ask you, do you want to go the freeway, or do you want to take secondary roads? Well, so you say, I want to go the freeway, and it starts giving you directions, and you don't listen. It tells you to take a left, and you take a right. And all of a sudden, it says, recalculating. And it says to you, so now you don't get to take the freeway, but I have a four-wheel drive trail. How about that? You will still arrive at your destination, but the trip is going to be a little different. That's free will. God says, here's the universe and I've got it in order. Here it is. Here's the freeway. And here's the four-wheel drive path. Which one are you going to choose to take? That's free will. And if I have opened myself up to divine influence, my experience in life is I typically end up on the freeway. And when I've got a better idea and I know how to do it better, the universe just steps back and says, there's the four-wheel drive. Knock yourself out, which sometimes I actually have. So in our unity principle number 4, it says through prayer and meditation we align our heart, mind with God. In doing that, what we are doing is we are opening ourselves up to divine influence. You know, you've heard me say this before, a moving target is harder to hit, Penny. Sit still. Get into prayer. Sit in meditation. Take in this divine, amazing order of the universe and allow your spirit, your soul, yourself to be influenced into your highest outcome, because the universe is ever conspiring to bring you to your highest and your best. But you can take the four-wheel drive path if you want to. You can. That's how much we're loved. Ernest Holmes tells us this: the greatest good that can come to us is in the forming of an absolute certainty of ourselves and of our relationship to the universe, forever removing the sense that our highest good is outside of ourselves. So how about it? How about we take that concept of divine influence? We stand in reverence of the divine order that is ever moving around us. And we prepare ourselves through prayer and meditation to hear that divine influence. We make room for it. We stay out of the way and out of the business of divine order. And when those moments happen, that result was nothing like I was thinking, that's grace. And the divine order of the universe is going to win. And when my divine influence gets off track and I start going down that four-wheel path drive, and I am out of alignment with my highest and best outcome, grace will swoop in. Now, I'm not pushing the odds. So my commitment is to stay aligned with my divine influence through prayer and meditation. And all of a sudden, we remember that God has got us and that we have the power to let that happen through mind, idea, and expression of who we are. Last week, Matt and Wiley did a song entitled Who I Am. And you're going to recognize it because we're going to have it again this week. It was perfect for the message that came through today. My friends, I invite you into revering divine order and allowing yourself to be present so that the divine influence can impact your life and you can move on that highway, on that freeway, to your highest and greatest outcome. Namaste.
Hi, I'm Matt.
I'm what?
We're a couple knuckleheads that are going to play you a song called Who I Am. You ready, Wiley?
Yes.
Let's do this thing. Like an empty vessel floating on an endless sea. There's 1,000,001 possibilities. The beauty of it all is that it's up to me. And when the sun comes up, who I am is who I choose to be.
Will I rise up with a heart so full? Will I tear it all apart or
choice I make. And if the truth be told, it's the only thing I control. It's who I am. Who I am comes and goes with the thoughts I hold. What I say and do I understand. It's who I am. It's who I am. Will I hold back or will I give it all away? When love is what is needed on a cloudy day. It's to the beat of a distant drum, and I will find my frequency. It's who I choose to be.
Sun comes up and the sun goes down on this pretty blue ball spinning round and round. I will give my all, I will do my best. When my time is up, there'll be no regrets. It's who I choose to be.
It's who I am. It's a choice I make, and if the truth be told, it's the only thing I control. It's who I am. Who I am comes and goes with the thoughts I hold. What I say and do I understand. It's who I am. Who I am. Cause I'm making if the truth be told, it's the only thing I control. It's who I am. Who I am. It's who I am.
Thank you, Matt. Thank you, Wiley. I could listen to that song a lot more than twice in a row. Such a great message. It is who we are. And we are open and reverent to divine order as we allow ourselves to be divinely influenced. My friends, www.unityofflagstaff.org. Check it out. Come back to this YouTube channel here at youtube.unityofflagstaff.org. And remember, we are holding you in the light and seeing your divinity. Be blessed. Stay healthy. Namaste.